So making the most of my time at the University of Manchester. So what we're hoping to do is to aim to open your eyes, if they're not already open, to the wealth of opportunities that you can tap into during your time at Manchester. And as I said, you know, you'll all be in different years, different stages, but hopefully this will help you to stand out at the time when you're actually starting to make your decisions and make applications later on in your your careers at the University of Manchester. Okay, so here's the session outline. So yeah, just to give you an overview really of what the session will be covering. So what are you studying first and foremost, and does that have some significance in terms of what you think you would like to do next? It might not. But we'll also be looking at skills and strengths and how to develop those transferable skills. Most importantly, we're going to be looking at opportunity awareness, just so that you are aware of all the different things that you are, you're able to tap into here at the University of Manchester. So they will include things like part-time work, volunteering hubs, Staleify, but we'll go through all those a little bit later on. And then we're going to be taking a look at career planning, and I'm going to be showing you a couple of strategies for doing that are available on our website. And then I've got some examples to share with you to illustrate how you can make the most of your Manchester experience that you've acquired and developed during your time here, and how you can make the most of those in your applications. So I'm going to show you some examples in practice of ways in which you can demonstrate that learning and that experience in your applications going forward. And then we'll finish off with career service support and how you can access that and the kinds of things that we have got on offer. Okay, so what I'm hoping then by the end of the session, that you will have gained opportunity awareness. You'll have learned about things that perhaps you weren't aware of. You'll probably learn about, you'll probably hear about things that you were aware of as well, but I just hope it doesn't get too repetitive. I hope there will be some new things in here that you'll be able to take away with you. You'll have reflected on your skills and also how to improve on existing ones, plus gaining more of those skills, because you may have a particular career in mind, in which case you'll be digging into and you'll be investigating what skills you are looking for, what skills employers and recruiters are looking for, and trying to fill in those gaps in those skills. And what we're going to be looking at is ways in which you can fill in those gaps. You'll have learned about our career planning tools and also looked at how your experience can be translated effectively in applications, as I mentioned before. And then finally, you will have heard about how the career service can support you, but we'll go through those things in the plenary as well after this session. Okay, before we start, we just wanted to make sure that we talked about the fact that not all students have the same experiences or the same backgrounds or the same, the same intelligence, sort of not intelligence, the same, I meant kind of labour market intelligence as opposed to acquired intelligence. Not everybody has those those pieces of knowledge. So what we'd like to do is to make sure that however you identify, if you're a part of an underrepresented group or a marginalised group, including any of the ones there that are protected characteristics, then please be aware that we are here to support you. And there's more information on our web pages, on our equality web pages on that. I'm one of the careers consultants who sees disabled students and graduates. So if you have a disability or health condition, long-term health condition, it would be myself or another colleague that you may be able to see. And we have a 60-minute appointment system for that. So just wanted to mention that for those of you that applies to. Okay, so the section that we've got coming up now, the time to reflect section, is all about looking at ways in which you can usefully reflect on your experience and on what might work for you. What kind of things, what kind of skills and strengths have you already got, do you think? And also what skills and strengths do you think you might need to develop? And as I said before, you might not necessarily have a clear idea of what you want to do, and that's absolutely fine. If you have, equally, that's great. But really, your university experience is about expanding your knowledge and expanding your experience to be able to then use those features when it comes to demonstrating to an employer that you are a highly employable individual. Okay. So, yeah, does it matter what I study, first of all? Well, actually, according to prospects, 70% of graduate employers are looking for graduates of any vacancies, of any degree discipline, sorry. So some graduates take longer to discover what they want to do or wish to enter competitive career areas, and some require significant work experience prior to embarking on a professional route. So that could apply to, for example, law or the media. But employers value all degree subjects, and humanities graduates in particular have a wide range of choices, and sometimes that can be quite sort of daunting. It can be a bit bewildering, but on the other side of it, it's also a really good starting point, because you will have developed, and you will still be developing, lots and lots of really useful generic skills, of which more shortly. So yeah, many of the jobs that we advertise on Career Connect as well are open to graduates of a degree in any discipline. So just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. So what you do in bold there, as I've put it especially in bold, is what you do outside your studies might determine your career. You don't know what you're going to come across. You might be seeking things out. You might actually happen upon something quite by chance or quite by accident, and actually then that develops into a real experience that you can learn from. So yeah, this session really is about thinking about what extra you can bring to the table. Employers are very, very keen to recruit University of Manchester students and graduates. So as I said before, this is about how you can stand out and what you can bring to the application table, as it were. Okay, so these just a very quick list here, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but obviously you can read that list yourselves. So summer internships are available for many students. We have something called the Student Experience Internship Scheme, which is a 6 to 8 week placement that you can do in between in the summer, in between your second and third year. There's volunteering, there's being a peer mentor or a hall or course rep. There are student societies that you can join. There's relevant professional groups, and many of you will already maybe have done this, but we recommend creating a LinkedIn profile as well, just so that you can start to network and start to connect with people who have similar interests and are pursuing similar goals to yourself. So all these things, they're all ways in which you can start to build your CV, but also importantly to have some fun as well at the same time, and it enables you to meet other people and to connect with people that you wouldn't have done otherwise. So it's about thinking about, well, what do you think you need to do to acquire some more skills and some more strengths. So that's just a little flavour of what we're going to be looking at in a little bit more detail later on. Okay, so this part is over to yourselves now. So as I said earlier, I wasn't able to use the Mentimeter. So yeah, question for you is, what skills and strengths do you think that you need to develop during your time at the University of Manchester? And there's no wrong answer, there's no bad answer. I just want you to have a think and just brainstorm and just put anything at all that you think is a skill or a strength that you think would be useful to develop during your time here. So I'll give you a minute to do that. And Chloe will be looking at those. So Chloe, when we've got a few ideas in there, could you maybe read some of those out for us?
Yeah, we've got quite a few good ones already. So Brilliant. We've got analytical skills, IT and design, digital design, research skills, problem solving, environmental awareness, team working, management, organizational skills, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, adaptability as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, so we've got a really nice mix there of what I would describe as skills that are transferable skills. So you mentioned teamwork, you mentioned problem solving, you mentioned organizational skills, and I was really pleased as well to see that people were coming up with other things like emotional awareness and emotional intelligence, because those kinds of things as well, in terms of how you react to situations, how you judge situations, and how you respond to different personalities and respond to different scenarios in the workplace. They're all really valuable. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing those. We'll keep a note of those, and we'll come back at the end if we have time and see if we've covered them. Okay, but yeah, so you've already given a big contribution to this, but yeah, here are some of the skills that we think are skills that will enable you to be successful in your career. So how can you show leadership potential? Well, you can show leadership potential by managing projects and people. You may be involved in perhaps a core project as part of your degree course that allows you to be able to do that, or there may be other things as part of your extracurricular activities that you will be able to gain from there. Communication, probably the top skill that employers are looking for, I would say. And again, a number of ways in which you can demonstrate that you've got good communication skills. So influencing, persuading, informing, and negotiating, they're just some examples of those. But it's also, I think it's also useful to remember that actually communication is, it's a two-way process. So it's also about being able to listen as well, and to be able to absorb information that's given to you. Commercial awareness. So I would say, if you are put off by that term, don't be. All it means is, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are thinking about working in the commercial sector. It just means being able to have an informed idea of what is going on within the sector that you are looking at. So if, for example, you are looking at the education sector, it's important to be aware of changes that are happening in the education sector, current issues, and so on. So it doesn't have to be about a commercial organisation. What it is being flexible and being responsive to change. And I think we've probably all demonstrated that in the last year, or last year and a half, that we've been able to respond to the enormous changes that we've had to deal with because of the pandemic. So yeah, you've already got some examples there actually. And then taking responsibility for your own development. So yes, seek things out. If you're offered some training as part of a part-time job, or as part of a volunteering opportunity, then do take it, because you never know what you're going to learn, and also it's really important that you be able to look at that and include that on your CVs. Okay, but yeah, thank you for your contributions to that. So I just wanted to highlight some key ones, but yeah, you came up with a really great list there, so that's great. Yeah, and then moving on to strengths. So yeah, it's not just about skills, it's about what you can bring in terms of maybe you have some innate strengths that you have, or it could be that you will develop a strength as part of an experience. So resilience and perseverance, again, those two strengths have been tested a lot in the last few months. But other examples of strengths can, are featured there. So, can you demonstrate empathy with somebody that maybe you're working with a client or a customer? How do you demonstrate the fact that you are really attempting to understand the situation, the scenario that they are in? It could be that you're demonstrating understanding about different cultures and different ways of life. It could be that you're creative, and it could be that you are, a very decisive person. So again, it's about thinking about those and wondering, well, how can I actually get, acquire more of these? And it's not a simple tick box exercise, and we're all evolving all the time, aren't we? But I would say it's just important to be aware of that. So there's a really good link there on our website, which you can take a note of here, or you can find in the links when the time comes, and I'll ask Chloe shortly to put these in the chat. So the skills and the strengths links are really good ones to be aware of. So I think one of the other reasons that it's important to be aware of your strengths is that more recruiters are now using strength-based assessment as a way of determining potential. So for example, if you have strengths connecting with others in terms of your establishing rapport and all those types of connections, then if you've got those strengths and connecting with others, then you're likely to seek solutions that way by collaborating with others. Okay, so moving on. So yeah, here are some skills that you may gain by doing what I call extra stuff. So here's some examples. So you may be in the position where you are perhaps a peer mentor, or you may be a peer mentor leader, for example. So are you running effective meetings? And again, are you demonstrating that you've got good and strong communication skills, including negotiation, as I said before, listening and being able to impart information? If you're somebody that's been able to organise events as part of a society venture, or as part of possibly working as a volunteer, then you've already got at your fingertips some excellent organisational skills. Time management, well, that comes to play with really the whole of your degree in terms of how you are balancing your studies with competing demands of your studies and anything that you are doing outside of those studies, and obviously managing deadlines and so on. So how are you doing that if you are very busy with deadlines and also with an event that's coming up that you've been part of? Then how do you actually demonstrate that to an employer? And that's by showing that as an example when you are asked a question, a competency style question in an application. So yeah, technical skills. A couple of people mentioned technical skills in the list there. So that that could include things like managing budgets, financial planning. It could be maybe that you've got technical skills using Excel. Excel is one of the real sort of important requirements that many employers look for, actually. So yeah, we recommend that if you're not familiar with Excel, that you can possibly maybe go and sort of train yourself up on that, and there are ways in which you can do that sort of through the university. Yeah, other skills, again, liaising with clients or customers if you are working on a part-time basis, or you're liaising with colleagues because as part of a team. Again, it's those communication and problem solving skills. It could be that you are involved in training new people into a team, or you might be a volunteer who's training a new volunteer. So again, that would demonstrate leadership. And you might actually be using IT skills fairly prolifically in terms of in terms of using different platforms and different systems. So yeah, if you're managing databases, for example, or confidential data, then you have definitely got some IT skills to be sharing. Okay, so I'm going to move on now to the main part of the session. Really, I just wanted to set the scene and set the context there. But the main part of the session is really enabling you to tap into the kind of things that are out there that will enable you to stand out and to write effective applications and make really good personal statements. Okay, so you're already aware of career service events because you're here today, and it's great to see so many of you here today. So clearly you're already winning, actually, because you're already engaging with the offer that is out there. You're here at the event, so you're already showing that you've got that motivation and that you're developing your interests outside of what you're doing. So yeah, so events like today, but this is just one of the very many events that we run at the Career Service. So that's just a screenshot there of our events. So they will include things like today, online workshops, but also things like Meet the Professionals, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more later on, the Media Club, and also we have a whole range of webinars that we have recorded over the last sort of 20 months that you can access on our YouTube channel. So do take a look at those, and just keep up to date with what's out there. We do appreciate that there is a massive range of events out there, so and it can be overwhelming. So if you use Career Connect as a way of engaging with the events, you can select which type of events are going to be applicable to you, because you're not going to be interested in everything. You're not going to want to go to every single employer event. So yeah, employer events as well. Obviously, we have a whole range of employers who come along and deliver sessions online. That will enable you to find out more about those places of work, but also they offer skills sessions as well. So important to do that. Okay, so yeah, next slide is our virtual work experience or work experience opportunities, and again we've got a whole range of different things within that page on, for example, not just virtual work experience, but if you look on the other section, the jobs and experience here, there will be other types of work experience that you can access. So it's really a case of familiarising yourself with that. Some of you will already have work experience, some of you will have part-time jobs at uni, some of you will have had part-time jobs before you came. But it's always good to, if you can actually find the time to do that, then even if you can't actually find the time to do that during your studies, the summer holidays and Easter vacations can be a great time to do that. So there are a variety of different, again on Career Connect, variety of different ways in which you can access work experience through internships and also through making speculative applications. So there's a whole section on our jobs and work experience pages about making speculative applications. So be aware that is important for things like the media and teaching, for example. Okay, so if you're not already aware of the Volunteer Hub, I will really recommend that you seek information about this. Volunteering is one of the sort of, I would say, jewels in the crown, really, of what the university offer. Our volunteering team are adept at finding volunteering opportunities, at nurturing and nourishing those opportunities and making sure that everything is in place for students to volunteer safely, whether that's actually online or whether, obviously now things are opening up, whether that is something that you can participate in real time and in real life. So I really do recommend that you have a look at this page if you've not done so already. You will be hopefully pleased to see, you know, the very, very wide variety of different opportunities that you can access. You know, you can look via theme, and you can also look by sort of type of opportunity, whether it's, you know, ongoing or whether it's just kind of a one-off opportunity. So yeah, plenty to look at there. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to talk now about Staleify, and again, you may have heard about this, but you may not necessarily be, you know, particularly au fait with exactly what it is. So yeah, so Staleify is a word, as a concept that was adopted by the University of Manchester a few years ago, and it literally means to change or to be changed into a star. So the idea behind Staleify is that we are encouraging students as an institution to involve yourselves in the range of academic and extracurricular activities, so that you can actually then not just perform in terms of how you fare in applications, but also you will actually get the Staleify award. So you really will be very well placed if you access Staleify, or even some of the elements of Staleify, like volunteering and like the University College units, which I'm going to come to shortly. So yeah, that basically, if you were to, you know, even just look at those components of that, you are going to be able to carve out some unique experiences on your CV. But if you do decide to go for the whole award, that is awarded to you, and again, that is something that you can highlight effectively on your CV. So it's very much seen as a mark of excellence, and employers do know about it. Our recruiters do know about it and are very interested to hear about what you may have learned from that experience of being on Staleify. Okay, so I'm just going to move on now to University College. So if you have some free choices as part of your course, and obviously I don't know the exact range of degree subjects that are in this call, but many of you will have the opportunity to have a free choice module at some point, as part of your degree course. So University College exists to be able to, again, open your eyes to the diverse range of subject areas and specialist areas that are out there. So there are examples of the types of units that are available are things like creating a sustainable world, and that is something that we are probably all very much aware of at the moment, in terms of answering the call to tackle challenges that are global challenges. There are also modules on equality and diversity and inclusion, for example. So if you're interested in that area and in shaping equality and equity, then definitely recommend that you have a look at that. And another example is understanding mental health as well. So again, how can we protect our own mental health and improve the mental health and well-being of others as well. So yeah, that was just a little selection for you, as I say, if you're not already aware of that. Okay, student societies. So there are too numerous to mention here. There are so many of them, but there will be a society out there for you. That I have no doubt about that. You can see at the bottom of the screen there the different categories that you can have a look at through the student societies. So whatever area you are interested in, that is a way of actually not just having fun and meeting people and so on, but it's also of developing the range and the scope of the experiences that you have. So there are board positions on societies. So it could be that you have that you are very good with organising financial, your financial arrangements. So the treasurer may be a good role for people like that, or it could be that actually organising events and fundraising is your bag. So there will be most definitely a society out there to suit your interests and your needs. Okay, yes, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the Meet the Professionals. We have got an event coming up next Tuesday, so you're in time today to find out about that if you didn't know about that already. So for those of you who maybe are interested in working in a charity, we've got a range of alumni on the call next Tuesday who will be able to talk to you about their experiences of getting into the charity sector, also their experiences of being in the charity sector, what the challenges are, what the what are the parts of their job that they enjoy. So if that is something that interests you, recommend that you come along to that. But more broadly, I just wanted to put this quote in from not a humanities student, but it doesn't matter about that, because essentially it's the principle of what the advantages are of going to such a networking event. So yeah, this is Mubashir, and he's an MN Material Science and Engineering graduate. So he was talking really about what a positive event the Meet the Professionals were in terms of being able to learn more about the roles of companies and different products, and it said it allowed him to get a better understanding of what careers are out there. So yeah, really recommend these types of events, as recent alumni can give you a different perspective. You might have one particular perspective and actually have that shifted by attending an event such as this. Okay, so I'm conscious of time, so I'm just going to whiz through the next few slides. So yeah, so what can you do to help yourself in terms of your career planning and your future? So we have a few sort of mechanisms for that on our website. The first of which is called My Future, which is a career planning tool, and that is exclusively designed for University of Manchester students. A login is required, but you'll be able to log in and really look at that and drill down into perhaps where your strengths are, potentially where your gaps are, how you can take action, and practical tips about what you can actually do next. And if you just observe the kind of cluster in the top right hand corner, the cluster that looks like I suppose some sort of kind of beehive, you will see that they're the key elements there of actually taking hold of your own career planning and controlling your own you're controlling your own plans to help you with your future. So it talks about communicating, taking action, reflecting, connecting, exploring, and bouncing back. So they're the key elements that we say, because of research that we've done with graduates, they're the key elements that actually make somebody an effective applicant and an effective graduate in terms of being able to access the graduate market, or whether it might be applying for postgraduate study. But all those behaviours there, being able to communicate, being able to take action, being able to connect, which is what you're doing today, and to be able to explore, which again is what you're doing today, they're all key indicators of successful graduates from the University of Manchester. As I say, it was a part of research that we did with an occupational psychology company a few years ago, and these were the behaviours that they identified. So only takes 10 to 15 minutes to complete. So again, recommend that you have a look at that if you're not already aware of that. Other ways in which you can get yourself involved with career planning is we have our New Pathways programme, which is part of the Career Connect, which is obviously our platform that you've that you've registered for today's event on, and also it's where you'll find out about all our events and vacancies. But there's also a pathway for different aspects of your your career planning. So there's one on getting CV ready, for example, and there's one on getting your application and cover letter ready. So there's some really good content on there, including things like the career set CV checker, which is basically on-demand feedback of your CV. So do take a look at the pathways. They're guided learning journeys through those resources and tasks that will help you become more confident. And at the end of the pathway, it will give you feedback, and you'll be able to reflect on your learning and discover additional support. Okay, so we're moving on to how to make the most of your experience now. So again, it's about reflecting on what skills and strengths you think that you need to develop and what you have developed as well. So what have you gained from being a volunteer or a peer mentor or a course rep or from networking? So you might have gained personal strengths, actually, that you didn't know that you possessed. You may have garnered and acquired a lot of knowledge and workplace experience of a given organisation if you've taken advantage of work experience or internships. You will have gained an insight. Whatever you've done, you will have gained an insight into different professions and sectors if you've got work experience, and that actually is enormously helpful. Not just in terms of helping you to decide what to do, but also helping you to decide what not to do as well. So I do talk to people regularly who say, well, I tried that, I didn't actually like it, so it was a really useful experience because it's enabled me to decide that isn't the sector for me. And again, awareness of what motivates you and what direction you might want to take after your degree, and also a sense of achievement. So if you have completed an internship, or you have completed a period of volunteering, or you successfully managed to organise an event, you will get a sense of achievement from that, and that's obviously, that can't be bought, and that's something that we're really keen to foster. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some examples of how you might possibly use the experiences that you've had in an application. So I'm going to gallop a little bit through this because I'm conscious of time. But here's an example of a question, a competency-based question. We recommend that if you're following competency style questions, that you follow something called the STAR technique or CAR technique, and that's, as you can see from here, situation, task, action, result. Okay, so example could be, describe a situation where you've shown exceptional organisational skills. This is a typical kind of a question that you may get in a graduate application. So maybe you volunteered for a Manchester homeless charity and you participated in volunteer recruitment. So what was the actual task? So you organised attendance at the volunteering fair. What were your actions? So in this section, you will go through step by step the actions that demonstrated the skill. So you coordinated planning meetings, you might have developed marketing, you might have arranged transport, you definitely would have organised a volunteer rota, and you were certainly there on the day supervising the stand at the event. And then the result is it quantifiable? Did you receive feedback? So yes, you did receive feedback. The event ran smoothly, or you were able to deal with problems as they came. And the feedback from organisers and attendees was excellent. So think about it in terms of being able to quantify. And this is a really good example of how you can illustrate your extracurricular experience when it comes to making those applications. So yeah, this just another type of example of something that you might, for example, have on a CV. So it could be that you, and again, this is just a fictional example that I've made up, So it could be that you were a fundraiser for an organisation called PlayShare. So what you're looking for again is the context and the actions, and using data and numbers that can add specificity. I can't say it. Specificity. I can't say it. I won't try again. And to be impressive. So it could be that you raise an X amount of money, X number of people attended. You might have grown the membership by X%. And again, the example could be that fundraising, how you actually showed initiative by suggesting something. You developed excellent planning and organisational skills by ... and actually it had a quantifiable outcome. So you were able to raise money for some new play equipment for preschool children. Just a couple of examples there of key skills as well. So during my time, I liaised regularly with etc. or team working. We worked collaboratively as part of our team. Okay, so I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm covering this part of the session as well. So 3 things that you need to know about us here at the Careers Service. So we're open all year round and for any query at all. So from I don't know what I want to do to final stage interviews. As I've said, use Career Connect for all event and vacancy information. And finally, it's never too soon to start thinking about or planning your future career. And again, that's why you are here today, participating in this session. Here's a list of things that you can access through the Careers Service website. As you know, we are continuing to work remotely until things change otherwise, but we're working really hard behind the scenes to make sure that you have the opportunities that you need while you are here. And that opportunity to access us is available now from the start of your course and right up to 2 years after you graduate as well. This is our website, and again you can see our Meet the Professionals logo there, and again, as I've mentioned, you can hear from alumni working in various sectors, but there's a whole different range of different aspects on the on this slide. I've just realised that it has some arrows pointing, but they seem to have disappeared, so I'm not quite sure what's happened to those, but hopefully they should appear in the slides when you actually access them. So apologies for that. But as you can see there at the top, tons and tons of information, which career, so a whole range of information on careers, how to get jobs and work experience, how to make good applications, and information for international students, and also help and advice and events. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so we also have work with employers. So we are the most targeted university by the UK's top 100 graduate employers, and as I said before, we have a full programme of employer presentations, so do take a look at those. I'm not sure that we've got much time for questions, but certainly you can post a question in the chat if you've got a specific question. This is our sort of one of our final slides, so it's how to contact us. There's our website. We've got a variety of different things on offer, like web chat, queries on Career Connect, drop-ins, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and yeah, they are obviously all available for you at the tip of your fingertips. So yeah, just before we go, if you can humour me by maybe thinking about one thing that you have learned today and one action that you will take away. So we've just got a couple of minutes left before we have to finish. So while you're having a think about that, just to say that after this session, next up is our closing plenary, and that starts at 4:05 and it's till 4:15. So yeah, do come along for a roundup of the day and how we can support you further. And finally, yeah, thank you for listening. and for attending today. We've got a good turnout of students. It's very odd to be talking to the camera and not to you in person, but be assured that we are real people and we are listening, and we do wish you lots of luck in the future. So yeah, so if we just go back to that slide. So yeah, thank you for attending. And yeah, can you think of one thing that you've learned today and one action that you'll take away? And what we will do is we will collate that in the chat, and we'll be able to access that after the event. So yeah, if there are any Chloe, are there any contributions coming up so far?
We've had one person say that it was, they found the event really helpful, and they'll definitely be getting involved in the volunteering and the societies at the university.
Brilliant. That's great. Yeah, don't feel you have to post in the chat. Obviously, as long as you've taken away something from the session and you're thinking about what you can do next, that's kind of all I'm asking for, really. And as I said earlier, you are very much already on target, because you're joining in and you are showing the initiative and you're getting involved. So doing more of the same, finding out things that interest you, seeking out things that you enjoy, and you are more likely to be able to really fulfill various different ambitions through doing that. Okay, so yeah, so somebody's saying that it's helpful to know about the career service elements that are readily available. So yeah, thank you for that, Ella. There are more details included in our conference pack. So essentially, yeah, if you need to go back to that, then please do. So yeah, conscious of time, because our plenary takes place in a couple of minutes. So I will leave this for today. I'll just stop sharing and say my goodbyes. Thank you to you all for attending, and thank you very much to Chloe as well, whose support was very much appreciated in the background. Thank you for your comments, and wishing you lots of luck for the future. Okay, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the session. Thank you.